ever since we were little, we've been pushed by our parents, by society's standards of what we should be. And it can be tiring sometimes if you 100% believe this narrative they push down on you. Something, teachers say, and your parents might have said is like, you want to end up like this? Is this where you want to end up in? Or do you want to be successful? It's like this, do you want to end up in a place with like no money? Or it's always like this extreme, it's always like, hey, you don't do these things, you're going to end up in the road, and there's going to be like no future for you, there's going to be no hope for you, it's done, it's over. But that's not the case. I highly doubt that. But, they push this narrative like it's the end of the world, especially I think brown parents, they push this narrative like it's the end of this world if you don't take these steps. Of course, it's controversial because we live in a society where we do have to take certain things seriously. If we don't reach some sort of financial stability, we're going to have to live off other people, it's going to be difficult, and yeah, that part's always there. But I think what's important is setting your priorities straight. If you know the kind of person you are, if you know what's going to make you happy, what's going to upset you, if you have a good gauge on these kind of things, then I think you should go ahead with your intuition. Like whatever you feel, that gut feeling you get, which you should go ahead with. Because the fact of the matter is, we are all very different people. And I can never tell you what to do because I don't know who you are. I don't know what kind of personality you are. I don't know your interests, what drives you, what doesn't drive you. I don't know what puts you to this like negative space or positive space. And more often than not, it's not really your fault that you feel terrible about certain things. Certain spaces can trigger certain people, while others in the same spaces, other people can grow and flourish. I used to be pretty judgmental on these things, especially with regards to saying things like, if you are suffering, if you are in this constant state of stress, well, that's on you. It's your own fault. And this is true, but also, I mean, you didn't consciously do it, did you? It just happened. All these negative states of mind just fell upon you, and now you're lost, I guess. I mean, not everyone, but you could be. Society, parents like to sell us this narrative that if you don't do these things and become these things, you are done for. That's the worst thing that could happen to you, and you'll be so disappointed, and with yourself you'll be so sad, you'll be so upset, and you stay with all the stress, fear and everything because you think that when you reach this particular point you will be upset, disappointed, stressed. But what if you don't, What if you go there and it's okay? It's not as bad as it sounds. My mom used to tell me, වාට අන්තිමටම මේ ක්ලාක් කට්ටක්ද වෙන්න ඕනේ නැත්නම් බාසුන් නැගෙනක්ද වෙන්න ඕනේ නැත්නම් ත්‍රීවිල් කාරයක්ද වෙන්න ඕනේ. I don't know, like I think growing up, that kind of fear of even those professions just went away. Like, so what, no? Why are we so caught up in so many things, man? Like, it's because we put certain professions down in our own heads that if we become those certain professions, it would be the end of the world. Why? We are creating this illusion within us that, oh, this is so terrible. What I'm trying to say is not to let go of everything, Of course, we must have a plan because we have to be financially stable, we have to be able to support our needs. But I think the important question to ask here is, what is your objective? What is your goal in life? Of course, if you can't really answer that question, I think it's all right going ahead with whatever you are going ahead with, whatever your parents may have pushed, your friends or society or teachers or whatever might have come across your way, and now you're doing it. That's okay. But also, if you do find that calling of what you really want to do, I think it's good to give that a go, you know. Uh, and another person might argue, but how can you say that? Isn't persistence the way to go? Shouldn't you be persistent with what you're doing? I mean, if you put so many years of effort into doing one thing, how can you just drop it and go like that? Drop it and go like that, man. And see how it goes. Of course, this is not universal advice. I don't think I can give that to everybody, you know. You might be close to a particular thing. It would be almost detrimental to say, drop everything. The truth of the matter is, I don't think real happiness lies anywhere in all these different things, in all these different goals that you can perceive. And that's a reality check, huh? Don't think that once you come to this particular place, it'll be amazing. It might be for a while, but it'll go away like everything. You can't remember you excelled in school. You can't remember your O-level, A-level results and still completely be happy from that. It's gone. It's past. In the same way, when you reach the goals you've set, yeah, perhaps there will be a certain sort of fulfillment, happiness. But even that will go. So, know the reality of these things. Another thing I want to say is, there are certain scenarios which would put you into negativity. Deeply observe them, because it's very difficult to say if this is something which is in your control or not. There are some things which are beyond your control. You fall into negativity and it seems like there's nothing you can do to get out of it. If that's the case, then drop that particular thing at least for a while, and try to figure out what is it you want. Because when you know what your priorities are and you make a certain decision knowing what your priorities are, no one can really tell you otherwise. Because you have a plan and you are set on reaching your particular goal. Otherwise, to me, for example, you might come and say, I want to become successful. This is where I want to get in life. And I would say, no, that doesn't make any sense to me. That doesn't make any sense, what you just said. But see, it's a personalized experience. If I was in that person's shoes, I wouldn't be doing all that. But that's because he is him and I am me. So not parents, not teachers, not anyone in society no one, not even a friend, can really tell you what you should be doing. It's a decision which must be made by you. You have to assess yourself and find out what you truly want to do. This became like this motivational talk, and I never do this kind of thing. But I think decisions in life are very important. And sometimes you can be really afraid to make a decision because almost everyone is telling you not to make that decision. People who you held close, your friends, your family, might tell you not to make that decision. That's why it's important to try to see it from their perspective too, and look closely, investigate deeply. But there will come a day you will have to make a decision. And when you do, Just follow your gut feeling and make that decision. You might screw up, you might not. But hell, at least your decision was your own. So, yeah, good luck.